Le passé composé, partie 2. So part 2 of our looking at the passé composé. And remember, we're only going over avoir verbs that have regular past participles. We already went over the conjugation of ER verbs. So if you missed that, you need to go to part 1 first. So IR and RE verbs are very similar to our ER verbs. So some IR verbs are finir, to finish, choisir. What do you think that might mean? It means to choose. Grandir, to grow. You have the word grand in there, big, so to grow. Vieillir means to age. It has vieille or vieux. So vieillir is to age. Maigrir, if you remember what maigre means, this means to lose weight. And we'll be looking at RE verbs like attendre. It does not mean to attend, it's a false cognate. To wait or to wait for. Vendre. If you think of what a vendor or a vending machine is, vendre is to sell. Entendre is to hear. Perdre is to lose. And what might répondre be? If you guessed respond, you are correct. Now, like we did for ER, we are going to look at 2 examples of IR verbs, first in the present tense, then in the passé composé, and see if we can see how they changed. So our first IR verb, aujourd'hui, Griezmann finit sa carrière à Real Sociedad. Okay, so we have fini. Okay, he finishes his career for Real Sociedad. And we're going to put that in the passé composé of what he did en 2009. Okay, in 2009. Griezmann, what do you think it will become? Fini, we need 2 parts to it. So Griezmann a fini sa carrière à Real Sociedad. Okay, so we're using a again. Do you remember that that is the verb avoir in the present tense? And then finir becomes fini. So that's our past participle. Let's look at example number 2 of IR verbs. And we probably won't do an il or elle or on form this time. We'll change it. So, aujourd'hui, je choisis un cadeau pour mon ami. I am choosing a gift for my friend. So, let's pretend we did this in the past. Hier soir. So, hier soir, I'll need to put the choisir into the passé composé, and that will be j'ai choisi. So instead of the a, because it's je now, it's j'ai. Still avoir, and then we're still using that I for choisir, choisi. Okay? So let's look at these together. So, Griezmann finit and je choisis. So, how did that change when we wrote that in the passé composé? First we had a, and then that I at the end. Okay? So, for je choisis, first we had et, and then we had I at the end. So, what is our conclusion? What verb goes at the beginning? If you guessed avoir, you are correct. And what happens to the IR verb? It becomes I. So the IR becomes I. So let's put this in a note form, our conclusion for our IR verbs. So to put these IR verbs in the passé composé, we are going to start with our helping verb, avoir, and avoir will be in the present tense. but we also need the past participle, the participe passé. So we need to change the ending of my RR verb to, do you remember? I. Of course you remember. Very good. Okay, so we only have one more type of verb for these regular past participles, and that will be our RE verbs. And again, we are going to look at two examples. So our first one, aujourd'hui, today. DJ Khaled vend des vêtements sur Poshmark. So we're going to take that vend, the verb vendre, to sell, and we're going to put that in the passé composé. So what do you think that we do for l'année dernière, last year? Okay, so we're going to first use a, and then we're going to take the past participle of vendre, which is vendu. It's a little bit different. Okay, so let's look at example 2. Okay, so example 2, aujourd'hui, nous attendons l'ouverture de l'école. Today we are waiting for the opening of school. Okay, now we're going to put that in the past tense. En avril, in April, nous, l'ouverture de l'école. So how will we put attendre in the passé composé? And please remember that attendre means to wait for, not to attend. So nous avons, yes, there's our avoir verb, but now it's conjugated for nous. And attendre becomes attendu. Have we seen that you before? Okay, so let's look at these examples together. Okay, DJ Khaled vend becomes DJ Khaled a vendu. And nous attendons becomes nous avons. And what happens to attendre? Attendu. So what can we conclude? So what's our first verb? Again, it is avoir. And what happens to the RE verb? It became a you. So let's put this in some note form. Our conclusion is to put RE verbs in the passé composé. I need to start with avoir in the present tense again. That's why they're called avoir verbs. And I will change the ending of my RE verbs to, did you say you? Excellent. Okay. So I want to make sure that you write this down in your notes. So this is called the passé composé because it's composed of how many parts? How many parts do we need to make this verb? Did you say deux? 2 parts? Then you are right. And what are those 2 parts? The first part is avoir. Okay, that is our helping verb. Okay, and we conjugate it in the present tense. And then we need what? Le participe passé, the past participle. And how do we get the past participle for ER? We make that an E accent aigu. And for IRs, we make that an I. And for REs, we make that a U. Make sure that you pause the video and you have all of this in your notes. So I want to make sure that you have a chance to try these on your own, but we are going to see what trouver, to find, is in the past tense. Grandir, to grow, is in the passé composé. Perdre, to lose, is in the passé composé. And we will be conjugating that for je, tu, il, elle, and on, nous, vous, il and elle, or ils and elles. Okay, il and elle in the plural form. So if you want to pause the video and see if you can do this on your own, Please do, and then I will show you the chart. So the chart is j'ai trouvé, tu as trouvé, il a trouvé, elle a trouvé, on a trouvé, nous avons trouvé, vous avez trouvé, ils ont trouvé, elles ont trouvé. And for grandir, j'ai grandi, tu as grandi, il a grandi, elle a grandi, on a grandi, nous avons grandi, vous avez grandi, ils ont grandi, and elles ont grandi. And for perdre, you have j'ai perdu, tu as perdu, il a perdu, elle a perdu, on a perdu, nous avons perdu, vous avez perdu, ils ont perdu, and elles ont perdu. Okay? So please look at that carefully and see that I'm not just using the trouvé, grandi, and perdu. I have a j'ai, not just a je in front of it, a tu as, not just a tu in front of it. So make sure you don't forget to use avoir as your helping verb. And we are almost finished. We are going to practice. I want you to see if you can conjugate finir in the tu form, attendre in the elle pluriel, in the elles form, travailler in the vous form, grandir in the je form, entendre in the il form, manger in the nous form. So pause the video, and when you've given it a try, we will check your answers. So for tu and finir, you got tu as fini. A, the verb avoir, and the IR becomes I. For attendre, elles ont attendu. Okay, so the verb avoir, ont, and then that RE becomes you. Now we're back to these ER verbs, which we didn't do in this video. Okay, we did just go over it though, to remind you that it becomes vous avez travaillé. That ER becomes an E accent aigu. And je, for and grandir, you have j'ai grandi. Again, the IR becomes I. Okay, and entendre for il a entendu. Il a entendu. So RE is you. And don't forget that helping verb. And manger, nous avons mangé. ER becomes E accent aigu. Okay? Make sure that you use avoir and then the past participle. So we have come to the end of these avoir verbs for regular ER, IR, and RE past participles. And your assignment is you will choose 5 different subjects from je, tu, il, elle, on, nous, vous, ils, elles. Okay? And 5 different verbs from jouer, chanter, voyager, finir, choisir, maigrir, vieillir, attendre, vendre, entendre, répondre. And you will use them to write full sentences, complete thoughts. Okay? Full sentences in the passé composé. And you will turn this in for your classwork. If you would like to make a story out of it, that would be even better. Alors, bravo classe et merci beaucoup. À la prochaine.